what's up? It's Deka, and I'm so excited to show you my trip to Japan. This was literally my very first time traveling outside of the US. I had never left the country. I know, it's crazy. It was long overdue. I was so excited that I didn't even sleep the night before this trip, so I was delirious while I was in this line to get onto the Zip Air flight. Zip Air is a Japanese airline, so I knew it would be a great flight. It was a 10-hour flight. I didn't splurge. I bought basic economy and this delicious food came with it. Okay, it wasn't that good, but it was okay. We landed in Japan and it was raining, and their airport is like so quiet and zen and perfect. Okay, like we got through immigration and customs really easily. We got our bag and then we got a bus ticket to take the bus into the city. And while we were waiting for that bus to arrive, we were able to go down that escalator there and get some snacks. We were jet lagged and intimidated, but honestly, there's plenty of English and plenty of people to help you get where you need to go. So we were able to get onto the bus and see the Japanese countryside, which was so beautiful and lush. It kind of reminded me of Hawaii. And then eventually the green turned into the city skyline, which was just so incredible to see for the first time. The way the skyline made Los Angeles look like child's play, do you see that? There was endless skyscrapers. For as far as you could see, there was just skyscraper after skyscraper after skyscraper, this beautiful bridge, and of course, the Tokyo Tower. Ah. Then we landed in Shibuya, and it was everything you expect Tokyo to be. Humidity, lights, businessmen, and the most incredible futuristic looking infrastructure. So much of what they build is vertical and made of glass, which just makes it literally look and feel like you are 100 years in the future. It's stunning. And there are so many escalators everywhere. People walk so much, so they get tired of like having to go up and down stairs, and there are just escalators everywhere for as far up and down as you can even see. This is actually the entrance to like a mall and a train station, so I noticed there was a lot of foot traffic through here. We quickly dropped our stuff in the hotel and found the nearest bowl of ramen. The next day, I woke up super early because of jet lag, and so we watched some Japanese television, which was so much fun. I could honestly do this all day. The hotel room was pretty small, but it met all of our needs. It had a washer and dryer, AC, a cute balcony, a cute bathroom, and overall, I would totally stay here again. If you want to be happy, be. Your happiness is up to you, right? Seen on this walk through this gorgeous neighborhood in Shibuya. So we're on our way to the Starbucks Reserve, and we walk through this beautiful park, and it was so serene and so quiet that you just wanted to whisper because you didn't want to disturb the peace. Another admirable thing about Japan is the complete lack of trash on the ground. There's no trash on this sidewalk, on any sidewalk, or on any street. But there are vending machines everywhere. Alas, we made it to the Starbucks Reserve Roastery, and I've been to the Chicago one, which is actually the biggest Starbucks in the world, but I have to say, this one was even more beautiful and serene, and it was huge. Similar to the others, there were about 4 floors, multiple bars, food, a floor just for tea, so you know I had to come up here and get some matcha, and it did not disappoint. Also, I should note, they do allow for custom orders at the Starbucks, which is not something that they really do in Japan, so that was nice. They also had this rooftop terrace that just had the most beautiful view of Shibuya. So much sun, some shaded seating. I could sit up here all day. It was so wonderful. And now that I'm all caffeinated up, it's time to get out there and explore the city. At this point, I was like, okay, we're going to go get on a train for the very first time. We went back to the heart of Shibuya, that is known as Shibuya Crossing, where millions of people cross this intersection daily. It was so massive and amazing to experience. I just watched so many videos about traveling to Japan before this trip, and to finally have been walking across this crosswalk, it was just a dream come true, honestly. Before heading into the train station, we had to stop and get a picture with the dog. And we saw some Mario Nintendo carts in real life. It looks really fun. But also, how do you know where to go? As you can see, we're taking our time before going into the very intimidating train station. I think we went over here and bought some sunscreen and just, again, taking it all in because this is such a destination. Shibuya Crossing is an internationally known crosswalk for obvious reasons. It took some keen focus, but we were able to get our Suica card, which you put yen onto, which then you can ride the train with. We did it. We made it onto the train, we rode it a couple stops, and then we walked over to our next destination, which was the Meiji Jingu Shinto Shrine, which is 140 acres, and just before the entrance, there was a pony petting, riding situation. So we just kind of stopped, took this all in, used the bathroom that they had, and saw another vending machine, of course, in case you're thirsty. It was so cute and quiet and serene. And there it was, the entrance to the Meiji Shrine, dedicated to the deity of Emperor Meiji, the very first shrine that we visited, actually. It was so beautiful and serene and super quiet and very green and lush. There were other tourists, but they were few and far between as this shrine area is over 140 acres. So it's really big. So we were walking through and we were heading towards the center where you can find all kinds of things going on. There were sacred ceremonies going on. There were a lot of tourists, a lot of school field trips with their students in full uniform. That's how I knew that it was a school field trip of sorts. There were people getting their fortunes read and people writing their hopes and dreams and wishes down on these special little planks of wood. You could also buy souvenirs in this area, but it wasn't the only place that you could buy gifts. So we kept it moving and we saw these big barrels of sake and wine that have been preserved for many, many years. And again, it was just so quiet and peaceful and serene, and I just really loved taking it all in. Then we got to the gift shop and bought some little trinkets, and we bought some food from the restaurant. The food was good, it was decently priced, and not the best food that I had in Japan, but it was good. Then we walked over to Yoyogi Park, which is adjacent to the shrine. Another stunning, green, lush, beautiful park. There were so many people here, and the sun was just out, and the weather was perfect, and people were playing in the park and making videos and playing sports games and playing music. It was just so serene. I guess that is the word of this video so far, because I just couldn't get over the amount of Zen vibes. Adjacent to this park is the Harajuku station in the Harajuku district, or prefecture, I believe they call them here. We walked over, and when I tell you, we did a lot of walking on this trip. I mean, the first day, I think I walked 11 miles, and then about 8 miles on average after that. We went up through this really cool shopping art thing that if you watch any videos about coming to Tokyo, you'll see this area. It was just so cool to see in person. And we made our way to the rooftop terrace, which we had heard so much about, and it sure enough had this stunning view of Harajuku. At this point, I'm super jet lagged, super tired, and needed to take a sit down. So we just sat down and enjoyed this view and decided what we were gonna do next, which ended up being shopping in Harajuku, because you can't come to Harajuku without doing some shopping. And wow, they did not disappoint. I bought so many things from Nico, and it was so cool. I do have some fashion videos showing the things that I bought and the process of trying different things on, so if you want to see that, be sure to check those out. We made our way back to Shibuya, and I was crashing, okay? But my boyfriend had watched some videos about places to visit, so we spent some time finding this speakeasy door, which was really hard to find, but it was like into a bookshelf and into this restaurant bar that had a Mini Cooper chilling in it. And we ordered this super fancy drink, which is definitely the most fancy drink that I have ever witnessed being made. Also, shout out to this girl for making it, but I think it was because we showed up just before closing. You could tell that they were over it, okay? They were like, why did these Americans just walk in knowing damn well we are about to close? And as jet lagged as I was, we did not stop there. We kept going. We went to another bar because we just couldn't end the night on that negative note of like, we don't want you here. Anyway, we went to this bar. This guy definitely wanted us here. It was so cool. It was like a super small bar, lots of cigarette smoke, but a great vibe. The guy running the bar was literally changing the vinyl decks right in front of us and showing us which song he was queuing up. It was really cool. Then the next day, we headed over to the Miyashita Park, which is so cool. It's a mall, first of all, with great shopping, great cafes and food. And then on top of it, there's a skate park and a rock climbing wall and like a Tower Records nearby. And, you know, my boyfriend's really into music, so we had to stop and get some pics. But also, like, look at the businessmen in the back. Like, that is really common to see. Everybody is dressed up. And so, you know, we had to get our fits right. And then there's a park on top of the mall. What a cool concept. We headed over to do some shopping at the Freak store. which had a section for men and for women. And I was very impressed. Shibuya has a lot of really great shopping. So if you're looking to get a new wardrobe for honestly not too expensive, there's a really wide range of prices I was noticing. We made a quick pit stop at the hotel, and then we headed to a train station to hop on a train to Asakusa to go to the Sensoji temple. This temple is visited by 30 million people a year. It's the oldest temple in Tokyo, built in 645 AD. Let that sink in. So there's lots of English, there's lots of pictures to show you how to get around. They're expecting a lot of tourists to be coming through here. So as you can see, the bathrooms were that way. The train was this way, and we had to walk up a lot more stairs. This is the Kamidamon Gate, or Thunder Gate, which is a very popular tourist attraction. As you can see, there are so many people here. So I wasn't really too keen on getting a perfect selfie. I just couldn't believe that we were standing in front of a place that was built in 645 AD. I can't even conceptualize that. Like, that's so long ago. You could hear every language from all around the world at this gate, and then you walk through it and down this corridor that's just filled with little shops and souvenirs and treats and all kinds of things. And eventually you make it to the Sensoji temple, and it is stunning, so beautiful. And again, so many tourists. Quite the people watching scene, if you will. And of course, you can't leave without getting your fortune. So I paid my yen, I pulled a number, and I pulled out a fortune. And no, I won't tell you what it said. I also got blessed by this smoke, as this girl is doing, as you can see. And funny story, I was trying to take a picture of that with my phone, and my phone literally shut off. It was kind of spooky. We explored this area a bit longer, and then we found the nearest sushi bar. So we were able to walk into this very small restaurant. It had a few chefs. I was super intimidated. This was my first sushi experience, and there's just something so intimidating about walking in, sitting down, and then yelling out your order to the chefs, especially when you don't speak Japanese. But they were helpful, and the sushi was phenomenal, of course. If you told me 2 years ago that I would be in a taxi in Tokyo on my way to the Tokyo Dome to see a baseball game in Tokyo, I honestly probably would not have believed you. But here I am, going to the Tokyo Dome, taking a taxi because 1, we're on a time crunch, and 2, our feet are tired, okay? All the walking and taking the trains was already wearing us out. But luckily the taxis are readily available, and even though the drivers don't usually speak English, if you show them your address of where you're going, they'll be able to figure it out and take you there. So that was really cool. This is also my first time riding in a vehicle that drives on the left side of the road. So instead of driving on the right side of the road like we do here in America, We were driving on the left side of the road and it was just blowing my mind. And I was just looking at all of the scenery as we drove over to the Tokyo Dome, and it just was leaving me speechless, like it's leaving me right now. Like, I love Tokyo. It's so clean and safe, and people are walking around, and there's a sense of community. And like sometimes there's people running, like this girl is running, and it's okay. Like everybody understands, look, there's another person running. Like, we got places to go. When grading a city based on how walkable, bikeable, and accessible by train it is, Tokyo deserves an A++. It truly goes to show that you shouldn't need a car in a city. Cities should be this easily accessible, and I'm just so impressed by Tokyo. We made our way into the gorgeous Tokyo Dome. We got some drinks and some snacks and some souvenirs, found our seats, and enjoyed the game. It did not disappoint. Who knew that they had so many American players on the team? And this is where today's vlog ends. I will pick up right where I left off in the next one. So come with me as I explore Tokyo, Japan for my very first time out of the country. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps my channel, and I have more Japan videos, so be sure to check those out. Thank you so much for watching. Sayonara!